Hi everyone, this is where I'm going to talk about books I like and also what I'm going to do about the Bout of Books readathon, not this week, next week. And I think it's the 13th. Normally I usually try to participate and usually it works out like the first day or two, but then that's it. And I have tests for school or something like that comes up. But I will actually have a break in between semesters that week. The only thing is that I will be studying a little bit for my next course, even though it won't have officially started till the week after the Bout of Books week marathon, because it's only an 8-week course. So it's very condensed and it's like every other week you have a big huge exam. So what kind of books do I like to read? Well, I like to read mostly about anything, except for politics, because I don't like to read a lot of, either whether I agree with them or not, I don't like to usually read them that much. So I figure if I'm reading a book and I agree with a person, then I already know pretty much what they're going to say and stuff. And if I don't agree with them, it's a little hard for me to get into the book. Not that they don't have a right to their opinion by any means, they do, but on some stuff I'm totally one way and other people are a different way. So, but yeah, and the only other thing that I don't really read is sci-fi. Like, I like watching like Star Wars and Star Trek, but I never really got into reading sci-fi books. Like, I like fantasy, like Harry Potter or of course Nick, stuff like that. But my most books I read lately have been classics, historical fiction, and just regular fiction and nonfiction, and autobiographies, biographies and crime, and so a wide variety of different books. Like I said, I'll pretty much read anything. Early in the year, I did sign up to do I think 4 or 5 reading challenges. Yeah, I haven't gotten to read a single book. So here is, here's a list of all the books I was supposed to read by what challenge. I participated in the Victorian Bingo Reading Challenge 2015. I haven't read any of these books yet. I had a book from the 1840s through the 1880s. Didn't read any of those. I had a to be read reading challenge. Haven't read any of those. I'm going to start on one of the books though. Series Enders Challenge 2015. You know, what's sad? So when the last Harry Potter book came out, I had it specially delivered overnight to my house, or to where I was at. Couldn't wait for the book, and I was at somewhere else. I went out and bought the book, and I got it. Got to the point where, I don't know, they were, trying to get away from like the snatchers or whatever they were called, and people were dying. Of course, Ron was going, oh, you know how Ron is in the books. And they had had a big huge fight and Ron left, and it just kept going on and on and on and on and on. It was so boring. And I put it down. And I got really busy with my job, working like 60-hour weeks and stuff like, or 60-hour weeks and stuff like that. Never went back to it. Seen the movie, both parts, but several times. I even owned them. Never went back to the book and finished it. So when I go back for the Series Enders Challenge, I'm going to have to start all the way over because I don't remember everything that happened, why they had the stupid little argument. Although, knowing Ron, it doesn't really matter, so I guess maybe I'll just go, if I can find the spot that I was at, and go from there. I had the 2015 birthday month reading challenge, which is kind of cool. You find out when an author was born, what month, and then you pick a book. So I had picked, one of those books I am reading for the month of May. I'm reading Casino Royale by Ian Fleming. And that is a hard book to freaking find. I couldn't believe it. I went to two used bookstores. They didn't have it. And then, like, the library system that I'm a part of where I live, there's like 5 different big, huge libraries, and you can get, even though you may not live in like the next town over or whatever, you can get surrounding books. They only have like 1 or 2 copies of this. And I started reading it. I read the first chapter. They're very short chapters. I read the first 1 or 2 chapters. And the guy was in a casino. 3 or 4 words. I had no idea what they were because I've only been in a casino like 3 or 4 times. So I didn't know all the lingo. So I had to look it up. Yeah. So I don't know. I might not. I like some of the, the James Bond movies, the more recent ones and stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully this will get better. Let's see here. And then I was at the Literary Movement Challenge books. So yeah. Oh, and then I'm part of the Classics Club. It's on WordPress. Where you pick like 50 books that are classic to you. They don't necessarily have to be classic. I have books I've included as classics because it was by a classic author. A different book that's not as popular. Because I think, it's important sometimes to just find, some authors are really good and people only read like the really famous works of them and not the other works. So what the Classics Club is you pick 50 books, you read them within like 5 years or whatever, and then you do reviews on a blog, and then you link to it. And every now and then they have it where you pick 20 of your books, and then you number them on your blog. And then like a week later they pick a number, and then whatever number is on that, you read that book. So I have The Railway Children by E. Nesbit. This was a previous, and that's called a spin list. So this was another spin that I didn't do. I didn't finish. But it looks pretty interesting, I always thought. And there's a movie or miniseries or whatever. Basically, it takes place during World War II, and it's in Britain. And some kids get moved to the countryside outside of London. And the 3 kids don't know why the father's no longer there. Their mother's with them, but their father isn't. So I just thought it sounded kind of interesting, and seeing the previews from like the miniseries or whatever, I thought it looked kind of interesting. So, and it's a classic, so hopefully it's good. Maybe not. And then let's see here. Oh, I did pick one book. I haven't started it though. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Her birthday is this month, some point in this month. So she is on my To Be Read reading challenge, and she's also on, oh, no, I guess not. I take that back. Well, or her birthday might be on it, maybe not. Okay, so, sorry. That's why I have too many reading challenges, because I thought all of them sounded fun. So the birthday month one, I picked Ian Fleming, The Casino Royale, for that. So the Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, I have for the month of May for the To Be Read reading challenge, and also for the Literary Movement challenge. I've seen a miniseries with Winona Ryder, and I don't know who else was in that, clear back from the 90s. Never read the book. I always thought the book sounded really interesting. It has to do historical stuff, and so we'll see. Like I said, I haven't started reading that. Another book that I just picked up is Lydia Bennett's story. So if you've ever read Pride and Prejudice, Lydia now has her own version of events, I guess, so to say. I've read like a chapter or whatever, and so far it's like in a diary format. There might be other versions from her own that other authors have done. I really wish someone would do one about Mary. When I watch the movie, like the miniseries, or I read the book, you always forget about her. she gets mentioned, what, like 5 times or something like that? You could, like, totally forget about her, and then they mention her in the book, and you're like, who's Mary? And like, oh yeah, they have another sister. She's just there. They forget about her, like, yeah, who cares about Mary? like, it feels so bad. Like, why even put a character in if not even gonna have her at least mentioned more than, like, 5 times? Especially all the other sisters are doing all this different stuff. It, like, okay, you could still have her be single or whatever, but at least have her go out on events and, I don't know, have, you know, an opinion about what was going on with Lydia, and, you know, just, I don't know. I think maybe there is a book about her, but I'm sure there's probably not as many as with Darcy and them, but yeah, so it looked pretty good so far. Like I said, I've read like 1 chapter. It was pretty good. So the next book that I have that I'll be reading this month, that I have is, I belong to a quilt guild, and in our quilt guild we have a book club. And this month someone was supposed to choose like a historical book. So they picked Dead Wake by Eric Larson, and it's all about Lusitania. And so it looks pretty interesting. And this is, I guess, a pretty famous author. I think he has a couple of books now that are going to be made into movies, or they already have. They're going to be soon. But yeah, because he does like a whole bunch of research and writes his books and stuff. So I've seen a couple of things about him that I thought, oh, he sounds like might, you know, be interesting. So yeah, so I guess this is all about Lusitania. Don't you just hate this where, whether it be used bookstores or regular bookstores, they put these stickers on and you can never get gunk off of it. Like, I hate that. At least choose a sticker that comes off easily. Like, seriously, I mean, it's not like they don't make stickers that just come off. Anyways, so those will be books that I will be reading for this month, and for the bout of books, I will probably be doing The Railway Children and the Casino Royale first, because I've had them on my list so long, and then Dead Wake, because I have to have this finished reading this by the middle of this month. Let's see how many pages it is. Oh, it's not as many as I thought it would be. So, it looks like 353 pages. So not nearly as much as what I thought originally. Let's see here. It looks like they... Oh. Wow. So, all of this right here, you can see it. This part right here is all either acknowledgments or notes about where he got all of his resources from, and then the index. But a lot of it's just notes. Yeah. A lot of research. I don't know how many years he did this. Oh, so here's the other 4 books that he's done, all national bestsellers. In the Garden of the Beast, Thunderstruck, The Devil in the White City, and Isaac's Storm. Now, I've heard of In the Garden of the Beast and Isaac's Storm, but I don't think I've heard of the other ones. But yeah, so it should be interesting read. When the bout of books starts next week, I don't know if I'll do like a recap for each day, or if I will do more of kind of like 2 videos of what I'm going to plan on reading that day, because I plan on kind of like doing a rotation a little bit of some of the books maybe. So, but sorry, I know this video was way long, but oh well. Take care everyone, happy reading.